Welcome to the show. A couple gentlemen from the band Bellwether Ritual. How you guys doing?
Awesome. Thanks
Yeah,
so
we're
much for
doing good,
having
man.
us.
Doing
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
thanks for joining me on a Tuesday evening.
hmm
And you guys having some drinks?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you
All right.
know?
Well,
What?
I was hoping because I don't like to drink alone.
Yeah.
Don't worry, man.
I always say that I'm gonna stop drinking, and for no other reason other than just health benefits, because it's not healthy for you. But
That's what they say.
I wake up and say, you know what, today I'm gonna stop drinking, not because I have a problem, just because I just want to be healthy. But then I go home from work and I'm like, not today.
And it's the cycle repeats.
Yeah. They say the stopping's the easy part,
Yeah,
right?
it's for quitters.
Yeah.
What are you having? What do you?
I got some Yangling
Okay.
lager
Yeah, I have
today.
All
a
right.
Tullamore Dew on ice with a little bit
Oh,
of water.
oh,
Yeah.
the
And
heavy
Pepsi
stuff.
Cola.
Yeah. A
I
what?
am.
Pepsi Cola.
I'm.
And Pepsi Cola glass. Yeah.
I am having one of our peach fuzz beers we did with
Ooh.
we did a collaboration with Mutant Brewing called Peach Fuzz. Fuzz for Fuzz 96.1, which
Ah,
you guys were
yes.
Yeah.
featured on a couple weeks ago.
Yes. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for that.
Mhm.
Cool
Happy to
artwork
do
on
it.
that thing, too.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name. I should really pay attention. But Mutant Brewing does like a ton of like really cool like different can art and stuff.
Yeah.
I want to say, is it Gip? I should probably know that, but a really talented artist. The artist actually does stuff for Billy Strings.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
You want to
So,
break out the acoustic there?
Oh, not.
No.
No,
you guys
everyone's got
playing tunes?
Billy Strings on
We
them out
could.
there.
Yeah. This guy could.
I wish I could appreciate his talent, but I don't care for the music at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
I,
I truly. I don't actually know what his music. I've never actually listened to his music. I've
Um,
just seen videos of him play, and I've heard him play Black Sabbath songs, so it
yeah.
works for me.
Yeah. Oh, is that it? Planet Caravan?
That,
I
and
was
I
gonna.
think he did War Pigs too.
Yeah, he does like covers that I'm just like, oh, I wouldn't expect to hear it like that, but now that
Right.
I'm hearing it like that, it's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, I think he did
Yeah.
some Tool as well. I could be wrong,
Oh, maybe
but
that was it. I don't remember. Yeah.
when I used to work at Axelrad Screen Printing, they did and still are, as a matter of fact, they do a lot of his merch too.
Hmm.
Oh, very cool.
So, but yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about beer and screen
Billy
printing or
Strings.
Billy Strings. We're here to talk about the band Bellwether Ritual.
Woo woo. Yeah. Thank you so
In the
much.
Bellwether
Perfect placement.
bunker.
Perfect
Yeah.
placement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I had the pleasure of being on one of your live shows
Yeah,
maybe it
man.
was a couple years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. I
I was
forget.
trying to think. I was trying to think how long ago. I would guesstimate maybe like 8 to 10 months if I had to guess, but I'm just throwing that number out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
you would know more than I would.
I could. I was
You
gonna.
could
I
think
should have
about.
researched it. You're right.
We
Damn it.
could.
We'll
We had the
say.
Call
time.
it, we'll call
We'll
it a year.
say a year. Yeah. We'll say
All
a
right.
year.
Well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But now, I figured let's turn the tables here and have you guys on my show.
It's so weird, man. Seriously. I never think about this part. So yeah. Go ahead.
I had nothing. I had nowhere to go. This is pretty much over.
All right. Well, it
We'll
was
wrap,
This
great
has
to
been
be
fun.
here.
we'll wrap it up. No, so I'm happy to have you guys on. You guys have been on my radar for a while, obviously, just because we've kept in touch over the couple years now, and so I'm happy to kind of talk to you guys and learn more about the band because that's why I do this because I want to learn more about. Hopefully, people tune in and listen and kind of get to know you guys too, but more importantly, they check out your music and maybe you get some new fans. So
Yeah,
um,
man.
yeah, so for those just discovering Bellwether Ritual, how would you describe your sound?
Yeah, so just real quick, first of all, I just want to say thank you, especially because you are the kind of people that we need to get get the music out there to the people. So thank you very much. Um, our sound, oh man, so this is of great debate recently. I would say we started off kind of with a very big, like for me anyway, like I was like a grunge kid, so I had a lot of that. Going on. This band started from a previous band that kind of split in two, and there were a
They
couple of
always do.
songs.
They always
Yeah,
do.
right. Yeah, yeah. So it was kind of like they were pulling in two different directions, genre wise. So what we were writing. So one of those directions I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take these songs and use them as a starting point and start writing. So that was kind of more like I would say grungy, post grungy, maybe like a little bit of early 2000s like rock, whatever you want to call it, post rock. And then um, we had a couple people join. I found some members, and back in this started in November 2021. It was one of those just kind of pandemic things where it's just like, all right, well, I have time now. I quit playing guitar for like 5 years or so and just
Really?
quit music altogether. I was like, I'm just going to focus on my career. And then that kind of went belly up on me,
Is it the
unfortunately.
Crayolas thing?
Yes, yes,
We'll
yes.
get
Thanks
there.
for bringing that up. Yeah.
The
And
downfall of Mike's career. Let's just
yeah, yeah,
get right into it
yeah.
there.
So after that soul crushing experience happened, and all I had to do is sit at home all day and think about it. Yeah,
Cry.
I picked it. Yeah,
Is that when you drew that picture of it?
yeah. So I picked the guitar back up, and then eventually was like, "Hey, I'm gonna dust these songs off as a kind of a base, and then ultimately look for people to form a band." And that's kind of the real thing. That's what I want to get to is, as new people have kind of come into the fold, the direction of the band has been changing in a real interesting and like quick way, actually. So our bass player Hillary, she came in probably about a year and a half ago, and she's a super like doomer, Black Sabbath, Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, so like real fuzz heavy, slow. So she took, she saw where we were headed, and she's like, all right, let's slow some things down. Let's get fuzzier, let's get doomier, let's get more like vocally harmonized. And then Steve came in last year, and Steve, I don't know, what would you say your musical, but you definitely bring like a metal side, which I also have.
Yeah.
What else, what's your other background musically do you like?
Well, yeah, I think you and I both have a deep love for like Metallica
Oh
and
yeah,
all that kind of
definitely.
early heavy metal
Yeah.
shit. Um, I also think Black Sabbath is the best band in the universe. So me and Hillary have that going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know. I don't really think too much about the subcategories of genreification. I just want whatever feels good when we all play together is the kind of music we should be making. And when I heard the EP that came out, the Windbag EP, it just the way the vocal harmonies, which like you said is what Hillary really kind of brought a lot of. It just screamed authenticity and like just genuine love for what you're doing. And yeah, I love guitar music. I love anything with guitar and uh yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're kind of in an interesting position now because Steve comes in. We have some songs like in the can from previous, and we're like, all right, well, what do we do with these? So we just released a song back, I think it was the end of May, maybe a couple weeks ago, called Lock and Key. And that was one that was been kicking around for a long time. And it's finally been like, all right, we have some songs to almost kind of like not clear out, but it's like these are from kind of an older era. We need to walk towards what we're doing now. We're writing an album right now. Hopefully, we're being pretty ambitious, but I would say we're what 75% of the way through an album. We're gonna hope to release like in the fall, so we got a lot of work to do, but we really wanted to kind of push that sound forward the most because that's really where we're at. So we're trying to play a little catch up, and
Yeah.
this is a bit of a transitional
And I
period.
think I think you listeners will really hear between uh Neck and Neck, Windbag, and the album we're working on. I mean, it is a huge thing. And like you said, a lot of that early stuff was basically just you writing stuff.
Yeah,
So it's very much what you would write if you were just doing everything yourself. Whereas this later stuff is a band.
yeah.
We sit in here in this room and we hash out parts and decide on what is best for the music and the song and yeah, I think the like you said, the songs that we just released and the next single that's coming out are older songs. They're fucking great and fun and we love them. But the album that we're working on, I think really is in the direction that Bellwether is heading.
Yeah, you brought up oh, you made me think of something now. I forget what it was. Um about writing. Oh yeah, the difference between our first EP. I almost kind of want to pull that down. What do you think about that? It's like such a big
It is pretty different. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
I wouldn't pull it down.
yeah,
No, you can't do that.
something to
Yeah.
You
consider
gotta
for your
you gotta
history.
kind of see the growth. But Mike, I mean, as far as that goes, how does that how does that feel going from someone who's kind of writing all this stuff and doing that all by yourself to, working with a band? Like, how does that, is that something that you like better or
That's a great question. I see it as a relief, because it's just like, I don't know. Everyone is.
Everyone's so
Oh
creative.
my God. And I feel like we finally found the right combination of people. Like that's a big part of being a band, I feel like. It's just finding people not only that you can play with, like that's one thing, but like stand to be around for
Yeah.
any length of time as well is like really challenging. So I do feel like we finally have that combination. And like Steve was saying, yeah, and like any one of us could write songs by ourselves, but they're never as interesting. Like maybe there's like consistency or something there, but they're never as interesting as like when you write as a group or you collaborate with other people. So yeah,
I'd have to think that, collaborating with other people is probably better to a degree. Obviously, you might have a difference of opinions, but like, you know, Steve might hear something that you're doing and be like, "Oh, let's expand on that,
Yeah, it
and
happens
let's
all the
take it
time. And
this
him,
this direction."
it goes with all four of us. It's like it happens with all of us. It's
Yeah.
what I what I really like about that too is like he just did this the other practice. He's like, hey, I'm hearing this guitar line underneath the solo. It kind of goes like this. And we'll like hand each other parts and it's just like, oh yeah, cool. It's,
Mhm.
you know, I don't know. I feel like I have to juggle a lot too because I'm singing and playing. I know Hillary's singing and playing. Everyone's got a lot to do. So whenever you can help out, like I'm always for that. I'm not, I don't know. The group is the sum of the, what is it? The whole's bigger than the sum of the parts.
The whole is bigger. Yes.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, you guys were talking about something before we got live on air. I couldn't even see the screen yet. Just putting
Yeah,
things in
put it
certain
in there.
places
Put
and
it in there.
holes
Yeah,
now. I don't know.
I think like the band thing for me. So I was in a lot of bands in high school and like right after high school, and they were tight knit. We were best friends, and we were against the world and all that shit. And then everyone moves on, and I've been in the cover band scene for years and years, where it's kind of more of a job. Um, but when you get in this room with four people or however many people are here when we play,
Right now.
so I don't know. Um, and it's understood that everyone's objective is to make the song better every time we play it. It just it you don't have to worry, you don't have to stress about it. Like what Hillary says about a guitar part I'm playing isn't a personal thing. It's, you know, just a way to open a conversation about making the song better. And I haven't had this sort of relationship with people in in a long time, and it feels really good. And I think you guys will hear that and see that if you come see us live because
Yeah.
we have a good time.
Yeah, I keep missing shows. I mean, you guys are based out of the Lehigh Valley, right?
Yep.
Mm.
Correct.
And I do have to say, your Facebook, it says Desert Doom slash Stoner Rock. Like, I'm familiar with Stoner Rock, but when I saw Desert Doom, I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, so you and me both there. We've been trying to figure out a way to like classify it. I had one that I think we're gonna hopefully try to land on that I call Doom Wop. So it's like slow, heavy, doomy kind of stuff, but also a lot of harmonies.
Like doo wop.
Yeah, doo
Yeah.
wop. So like doom and doom doo
Yeah.
wop. But desert, I would consider more like the Caius, Queens of the Stone
Yeah.
Age, anything out of
And
the
even
Southwest.
like Steppenwolf and shit, like
Oh
all
yeah.
that sort of Easy Rider soundtrack
Yeah, there you go.
kind of shit.
Where that comes from. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So that I mean Queens of the Stone Age for me, I know is a big influence. I think actually that's one of the influences we lost a little bit now that I'm thinking out loud.
Yeah, for sure.
From where we were at to where we went. Like we gained a lot of influences, but we lost a few. I think maybe that kind of took a back seat a little bit. So we'll see if that kind of sneaks back in with some of these newer songs too.
And I'm sure you get this a lot, but the band name Bellwether Ritual,
Yeah.
Never gotten it.
where does that come from?
Yeah. So we make something up new every time.
Is that right?
Okay.
So it goes back to our great grandmother. She came over
She was a
from
shepherd.
Europe on the SS Bellwether, and
Yeah. Would it be shepherdess or shepherd?
uh,
Is that like a thing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So a bellwether is a sheep that you hang a bell on that leads the other sheep. So
Mm.
and then you can keep track of the lead sheep by the bell and know where the rest of them are. So it is also basically a what do they say? It's like a trend identifier is kind of the way they had
Yeah.
it. So the way I usually think about it is our ritual is the four of us getting together once a week to write and create music. And then we have another ritual, which is to take that and play it for people. And hopefully they join in on that and, have a great show, a great experience, all that kind of stuff. So that's what it means to me. I mean, it's a little bit different to everyone, I think.
Yeah.
Steve's
Uh,
thinking.
well,
He's
I
making some.
just some I'm gonna say this live on the air. Nobody's ever heard this before.
Oh,
I haven't talked to Mike about this.
Well,
I notice I
all
noticed
five of my listeners will.
yeah I noticed that whenever we do like promo shit or like, hey, this is Steve from Bellwether Ritual, blah blah blah, you always say, hey, this is Mike from Bellwether.
Yeah, I just keep it short.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
Um, I don't know where I was going with that, but I
yeah.
it's easier to just say Bellwether.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So that's totally acceptable. Yeah, like I'm trying to think of the other bands like Metallica. What-
Alcoholica.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played up at Curry Donuts. I know you were wanting to talk about that. So yeah, we just played there like a week or two ago. George is a great guy. It's out on I think Pennsylvania. Um,
Yeah, Wilkes-Barre,
yeah,
Pennsylvania Ave, I think, or
yep, I think so.
yeah. So
So
they've been doing shows, and you guys keep inviting me. Thank you. Continue to please invite me. I will
mhm,
get there one of these days.
absolutely.
But they've been doing shows there. Sometimes inside,
Yep.
a lot of times outside. Was
Yep.
this last show outside or?
So we didn't even know until we were up there and they were setting up outside. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. Because we were looking at
Yeah.
that's what I like about it too. We played there 3 times so far. Just want to shout out George from
Yeah.
Curry Donuts right quick.
Great.
He's an awesome dude. He's a great part of the community and just the musicians, especially in Wilkes-Barre. So yeah, and he's been putting on shows for a long time. We played the first 2 times indoors, and I don't know, I just loved it. It was like super tight. There's
Mhm.
stools that you can't move, you just have to deal with,
Yeah.
like, and then it's just like packed full of people because it's a small donut shop and they're here to see a band. So this was our first experience outside, and I thought it was great. It was a little like midweek, it was like, I could get down to like, I don't know, mid 50s. So we were kind of just seeing how it would shake out, but it was a great sunset
It
and
was a beautiful night. Yeah,
yeah.
it was the weather was great.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I've never been to a show there. It's like I said, it's been happening for years and years. And it just seems like odd to me. But I like the idea, but I
oh, it
like the
is
fact that
odd.
people
It's
are
certainly
doing it.
odd. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're playing it outside in a parking lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much right
Basically.
next to the
Yeah.
building. There's like a whole mural on the wall and shit.
Yeah.
So we recorded it, so we're gonna release it pretty soon. We're gonna
Yeah.
cut it together and release it pretty soon. But yeah, he's got like a Hulk mural.
Yeah.
So you're playing in the parking lot of a donut shop in front of a Hulk mural
It's really a dream come true.
to a crowd of tailgating like
Yeah.
Wilkes-Barrians. Yeah,
Yeah.
what else
Yeah.
could you
A lot
ask
of
for?
lot of
Yeah,
young
yeah.
people there, a lot of younger bands and musicians, and it's really encouraging to see young youngsters going out and seeing
Because
music,
seriously,
you
there
know.
was like a thing. It's like, where are these new crop of musicians?
Yeah.
Like they're just kind of not there. They're on YouTube and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I
nice to
can't
see them
figure
out
it
and stuff.
out. I mean, and in Wilkes-Barre itself, there's not a lot of places for people to play. I think the only venue that's like a true venue to say, they have a stage and things like that is the River Street Jazz Cafe.
Hmm.
We used to have Carl Hall that closed
Yes,
a
just
year and a
recently,
half,
right? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, maybe a year and a half ago or
I
so.
remember that.
And that was a cool place because it was an all ages venue, and it was like this kind of underground, literally underground, and so this underground scene. But I mean, outside that, there's not really, there's the FM Kirby Center, but that's like a big theater. That's like 1,800 people, I think.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think there's really anywhere else. I mean, of course, there's bars that, put up acoustic, duos and things like that,
Hmm.
throughout the
But
area.
for
But
like for original punk bands or
yeah,
metal bands in their early 20s or something, it's like
Don't let shop.
there's really not. And back in the day, and it's funny how things change so quickly because when I came, like, when I got into that scene, it was like 2003 is when I turned 21. So then I started working at the Weekender in like '04. Um, but like if you went 5 years back, there were a ton of places before me, even, and then you go 10 years beyond that, it's like even more. But every year it just gets less and less and less and less and less. And it's just funny how things change so quickly. In fact, like last Thursday, I went out with a buddy of mine, trying to get together like twice a year, So we're outside on this big deck at the River Grill. It's 10:30 and we were the last ones there.
Mm.
It's a Thursday night, right? So then I'm driving home and I'm passing all these places. There's like they're either closed or there's one or two cars in the parking lot. And it just kind of was depressing because I remember back when I was, early 20s, even in the early 30s. I mean, Thursday night was like a pregame for the weekend.
Yeah.
It really was. Like people were out and about and doing stuff, and we can go on and on about like what has changed. I think there's a lot of things. People are trying to get, be healthier. They're not out drinking as much. They're home eating edibles and shit like that, or
Yeah, definitely.
money's tight. It's
Yeah.
just, or there's nowhere to really like, you know, it's like, yeah, you just go out to a bar and drink with your buddies or whatever. But it's weird. It's very strange. I don't know what these kids do these days. I really don't.
I don't know. I mean, when I was in my early 20s, we so I grew up in like the suburbs outside of Philadelphia, and it was very much its own little thing. I didn't know that the rest of the world existed. You know, MySpace was maybe new-ish, it was so all like we would literally do like make flyers and go hand them out and do that kind of shit and like record our stuff onto blank cassette tapes that I stole from the school library of like teaching Spanish kind of thing and just leave them places, and I maybe young people are still doing that kind of stuff and we just don't see it because we're not because we're tired at 10:30 on Thursday or something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Speaking of which,
But, yeah, I don't know,
yeah.
But so what I'm saying is it was refreshing to see how enthusiastic all those 20 somethings were about original music and maybe it's not gone. Maybe it's just out of our field of vision right now.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those ebb and flow things, it happened all throughout musical history, but I think it's maybe it's just the technology thing hit early 2000s, right? And everyone's trying to figure that out and still trying to figure that out. But yeah, to me, I don't know. I feel like it seems like there's even more out there now and it's even bigger than it is. It's just not as in the forefront of like the mainstream maybe, or hasn't quite caught the zeitgeist of the time or something. I don't quite know, but I don't know. It feels pretty good from what I'm seeing, like you're saying with the younger kids. I do think there's a venue issue,
Yeah.
like you were mentioning, where just like there's just no place to play anymore. But I do feel like that's kind of turning around a little bit. I know we got Archer Music Hall now
Yeah.
at in
Yeah.
Allentown, which is great. So we
I
already
mean,
got
but you
some.
can also kind of understand like, you know, teenagers and early 20 somethings can be assholes. And like, if you have a venue that's just dedicated for that, like, I don't know. That
Well, it's tough. It's not a venture you take to necessarily make money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a labor of love, which I think George is a perfect example of
I
that.
wanted to say about these guys too. Like you find the right people because ultimately they're the only people who are left because they do it because they love. No,
Everyone else
seriously, I don't
fell.
mean it that
Yeah.
way. But they're the people who are left because they love. They'll do it because it's in them and they love to do it, and
Yeah.
those are the people you want to get together with, obviously. So yeah.
And I mean, how do you go about reaching new people outside of, playing these random shows? Like, how do you,
So that you mean like audience or band members?
audience, like, I mean, how do you go about reaching out, to a new audience?
You let us know, and we
Yeah, if
will
you
do
have any
that.
ideas.
So for a long time, what we did during the pandemic, we started a live stream, kind of like your podcast, where we like interview local bands because we're like, all right, well, we can't physically go to shows right now. What are we gonna do to build a community and make a network of musicians because that's really not even musicians.
Just creatives,
Yeah, DJs, music people who are in the business.
accountants.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, definitely. I'm terrible with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just kind of how do we go about doing that and figure that out.
Yeah, I think that opened up a lot of doors of just lines of communication between groups of people in certain scenes. You know, you think about, well, we want to go over here and play a gig. It's like, well, we talked to this guy
Yeah,
before, and we
yeah, yeah,
have a
yeah.
line of communication there, and he knows these people, and blah blah blah. So I think that was a really, I mean, this was before I joined the group, but I think that was a really good move on their part of using their platform to give other people a voice, sort of selfishly as a way to, you know, network kind
It's a
of,
Connect,
win.
yeah.
It's a
yeah,
win-win. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Popko,
For
you've
sure.
been going for a long time. What do you I don't know. How do you deal with the grind?
Well, I mean, it's funny you should ask because up until um, I this is probably the first time I'm be talking about this like to I'll call you strangers. We've never
Yeah,
officially met in
yeah.
person. But yeah, like last month, it kind of all came to a head, and it's weird because like it almost becomes like this chore to a
Mm.
degree.
Oh,
Like I'll wake up in the morning and you got a day of work ahead of you, and then it's like, oh man, I don't really want to do this podcast tonight. But the minute I turn the computer on and hit record, it's like, okay, yeah,
Mm.
this is like I do this because I love it. But I guess it was like early April. I kind of I don't know. I feel like my world was like just like crumbling down upon me around me. Just like I don't know if it's like mental health issues or whatever it might have been. It's kind of the first time I ever experienced it, but it just felt like it was overwhelmed. Work and my kid's doing baseball, so like that's
Mm.
like 2 to 3 days a week after work, and I love doing that obviously, but like I'm just doing so much. Waking up in the morning to go to the gym, and it's like, am I doing things that matter? Because and you open the show, you know, I'll say praising me, and I really appreciate that because that makes it all worth it. But like, I'm not one of those people who thinks that anything I do is very important.
Mm.
So it it,
Same.
it just kind of like I'm like, am I just spinning my wheels? Am I doing too much? Am I doing things that matter? Like, should I switch gears? Should I pull the plug on this, or should I like take this and kind of invest in it and make it better instead of just doing? Because this will be episode 234.
yo, I saw that.
So
We got to
it
like 80 something, and I was like, nah.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's but I mean I love it. Like it's a great it's just, for me it's like a hobby, and I think people need hobbies and
Absolutely.
but I'm like, is it a hobby that like am I growing from it?
Mm.
I like to think yeah. Um from a financial standpoint, no, not at all.
No.
Um yeah, I just kind of just like I said early April, was just kind of like, what am I doing with my life?
And like, but
Yeah.
like you said, it's this part of it that kind of makes it worth it, is the talking to somebody part.
Yeah.
Like, I get that way with gigging. You know, like I said, I've been playing in cover bands for years. I fucking the rehearsals and the travel sucks, but as soon as I get on stage, it's like, okay, this
Yeah.
is this is good. There's two people dancing and they're having a good time. I feel
Yeah.
pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's really tough to stay motivated with creative
Yeah.
endeavors. And
It's hard too, because like, you guys are putting all your time and energy into stuff, something, and it's like, maybe the show has 10 people at it. And it's like, man, like, what are we doing this for? It's
mhm.
like, but it's because you love it though. It's like, so it's like the same thing. Um, but it's just, you get to a point in life, I guess, and it's like, maybe I should reevaluate how I'm spending my time.
It's a good idea, and it's good. It's important to do. It sounds like you might be in the dip. Have you heard about the dip?
Mm,
No, what's the dip?
poison the dip.
Yeah. Was that
Oof.
what movie was that? Roger Rabbit? No, the dip. I forget who it was. Seth Rogen, maybe he's like he writes books and stuff. I don't know, he's apparently smarter than me at marketing and stuff. But like there's the thing when you start something new where it's exciting, right? So there's this initial bump where like, oh, it doesn't matter, things are going great because it's exciting to do. And then it hits this point where it's like, okay, it's no longer easy or exciting now, it's just work. And then for a long time you could be in that. And then that's when most people quit because they're like exactly what you're saying. And I do the exact same thing with this band, like more than one time already. We're going to be 4 years in November, and there's been, I could say at least four times where I'm like, all right, is this really what I want to do? And take that time to reevaluate. I think it's super important. But anyway, there comes a point where you grind through the dip because you know it's the dip, and then all of a sudden it goes like exponentially and just kind of takes off. So it's just like how long are you willing to sit through that and see if you can get to the other side. So yeah, totally hear you on that. Is there something like in particular that's really kind of ground you down?
No, I just think it's probably a lot to do with the fact that I don't go to bed at a normal
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I just and I think a lot of it stems from that. You get exhausted. Like I will stay up until 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then
Yeah.
I'll wake up at 5:30 for the gym, and then I'll work all day, and then I'll do baseball coaching, and it's like I'm 42 now. It's like the time where it's like I gotta start listening to my body and just kind of like maybe just go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, I do this at night at like 9 o'clock. So again, thank you for doing this at later. But it's like, when my kids go to bed and, I do all the dad stuff and, my wife and I put the kids to bed and make sure that's all taken care of. So this is kind of like me time, right? But it's also like quote unquote work. But then like off nights, like I'll just stay up and watch stupid TV until 12:30. This is like me time. It's like just time to
Mhm.
myself. My wife will be in bed and I'll just kind of sit there on the couch with the dog. But I think my age is catching up to me and I need to like just listen to my body and kind of, I think it all starts with my sleep. I really do. And I just need to,
Sleep is huge, man. And
yeah.
I am so in that boat of not prioritizing sleep and staying up later than I should. How old are your kids?
7 and my daughter will be 3 in July.
Yeah,
So I'll call
I
it
have
3.
an 8 and a 6-year-old daughter and son, and yeah, that doesn't make sleep easy. Um, and
Well, it's funny when I started the gym, my daughter was waking up at like 5:30. So I'm like, well, fuck this. I'm just gonna go to the gym. If I'm gonna be up, I'm gonna go to the gym. And then like the last like 3 months, she started sleeping until 7. I'm like,
mm.
you little jerk,
Slacker.
you little jerk. Because now it's like now I'm getting up at 5:30 and I could technically sleep in an hour and a half.
Yeah,
But
See
yeah,
you when I get back from the gym.
they make
yeah.
they make their own schedules. But yeah,
Sure do, yeah.
you can probably appreciate the fact that it's just busy and it's like prioritizing time and
I was
just
actually gonna. That was one of my. I actually had a question for you tonight. I was like, how do you get all this stuff done? And like, is it time management? Is like where do you think your superpower is for that kind of stuff? Because we're trying to do the same amount of stuff, and it's just like, oh my god.
well, I when I first started like the gym, like I think that's kind of where like I'm trying to get healthy and all that kind of stuff and live a long time for my kids and yada yada yada. And I thought it was fun. Like, oh, I can do all this on 4 hours of sleep, no big deal. It's kind of funny. And I think it just kind of all came to a head one day.
Yeah.
But how I get it all done, it's not that I'm not a good time manager. That's for sure. I'll put things off to the last minute. I just kind of do it.
You
It's just
skip
one of those,
skip sleeping, and you have four
yeah,
extra hours.
and then just, one day just fall apart.
That's it, man. You know,
Well,
all that gym going will be for nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna say it's kind of like the gym. I always think of like this hobby or whatever you want to call it,
Mm.
or like you doing this show. I always think of it like it's a hobby that I want to build to the point where I can make some money off of it, and
Yeah.
then we can maybe not have to work full time or something like that.
It's just about showing up.
Mhm.
Like if you can, like you said, if
Yeah.
you can just get the camera on and get the guest on, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it flows,
That's what I was
man.
gonna say. But like you go to the gym every day, right? Because when you're done, you're like, oh wow, that was really good for me. It makes me feel better. I think maybe this and maybe it's changing for you, and it definitely changes for me. And I'm sure for you too. But like what those things are change.
Mm.
So it's okay if it's like I said, I took 5 years off from even playing guitar at
It
all.
shows.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the problem. Steve came in and he's such a I don't even want to say this on. You're not recording, are you? There's such a
Yeah.
good guitar player that it's like, man, I think I have to start practicing. So yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I think yeah. Is it anything like? Do you feel like it's the same with the gym, where like you just have to go do it, and then at the end you feel better, or is something different?
Well, it that kind of took a backseat too. I was going 4 days a week, and then I
That's
took 2 weeks off. I was there. I was doing it for like 7 months straight, which is the longest I've ever committed to any kind of physical fitness.
hmm
And then yeah, I just like I need a break. So then since then I've been doing like twice a week,
hmm
which I feel like is a waste of time. I feel like you have to go like at least three in order for it to be
All right.
worth it. So it's like, what am I doing? It's just a very like confusing point in my life right now. And I felt like I kind of like broke down on my wife last week, and I was worried to even talk to her about it because I was like, I don't want her to think it's anything at home because
Mm.
that's not the case at all.
hmm
It's just like I gotta really figure out like what's important and what I want to focus my time on, and um, I think it starts with sleep. So I'm trying to focus on that
Mm.
as like the foundation of my problems.
I would say 5.5, not enough.
Yeah.
No, that was
Hours. Yeah.
I'd like look at my watch in the morning and like, oh, you got 4 hours of sleep. I'm like, that's not gonna cut it.
Oh, takes me 4 hours to fall asleep.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So now I've been getting to bed around 11, which
Oh,
is
that's not
I
bad.
think that's a win. Still
That's a
not
good time.
enough, I
Yeah.
don't think, because I'm still exhausted, but it's 11 as opposed to 12:30,
Hey
It's a
man,
1
step up.
o'clock. So
next month you could make it 10:45.
Yeah,
And then the month after that 10:30.
you'll
It's
be
just
beating your kids to bed.
progress, not perfection.
I did 10 o'clock a day last week. And I woke up feeling fucking great.
See,
But
there you
but
go.
that's to me, that's like not realistic. That's just too early.
Yeah, my wife goes to bed at like, right after we put the kids to bed. And I'm like, man, what? You go to work, you come home, put the kids to bed, and go to bed. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
well,
not,
shit.
that's how you get so good at playing guitar. It's like, well,
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't sleep.
yeah, might as well do something.
But yeah, so it's it's relative to what you guys are doing too. And it's like like this specifically too, it's such a crowded space. It's like how do you break through the noise and does
Mm-hmm.
anybody care? Like there's
I do.
episodes that yeah, well thank you. But there's episodes I've done that I'm like, no one's gonna watch this. And it's like
Yeah.
one of the best videos as far as views go. And I try not to look at views, but it's hard not to. And it's like,
Oh, you got to, yeah.
is this worth it?
How you gonna know what works too? That's a big part of it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like regarding this, like, do I either pull the plug or do I, kind of buckle down and say, okay, let's figure out how to make this work for me and make it work for my guests because that's why I started it too. I mean, I wanted this, you know, more even for the guests because I wanted to share their stories and their music with an audience. So it's like, well, I don't want to waste my time and I don't want to waste their time. So it's like I gotta figure out like what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do? Are you? Well, I don't want you don't have to go into your plans, but I'm just always curious about this because one of our things was like we need to spend more time like trying to book shows or like we have to write a record, so this stuff has to take a bit of a back seat for now at least.
You mean like the podcasting
Yeah, like we
type
did
stuff?
a
Yeah.
live stream weekly for about 2 years straight, similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just needed it to be like we need to focus on some other things for right now. But yeah,
Yeah, for me, it's like, do I try and reach out to bigger guests or,
oh, I definitely
you know,
think you should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
so again, but
But you've
it
had
goes to
some
me.
really big guests though.
Yeah, yeah, I've had some good ones. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with all of them. It's just one of those things that, it's again, it goes back to me not thinking what I do is important or any good, and
Oh, we're all there.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Oh my
just
God, absolutely, dude. It's like,
So I'll come clean on some of this too. There are times when we're playing live where I'm like, I feel awkward up here. Like, what
mm,
am I doing? But then I'll see this cat rocking out next to me, and it's
yeah,
like kind of goes away.
yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, there's plenty of other
Oh
people
my, yeah,
out there
dude.
like me, which I'm sure is the same for you.
mhm.
It's just connecting and finding with those people. That's kind of the challenge, right?
Yeah, and just like as far as the playing live thing, like I can totally understand that of standing in front of a bunch of people playing a song you wrote, like, who gives a fuck about this?
Yeah.
Uh,
This one's
if
about
I've learned
zombies.
nothing else from playing in a cover bands for so long, it's that if you just start moving your body and show that you're enjoying what you're doing, that shit just radiates out,
Yeah, it's
man. And
contagious.
you know, even if they're laughing at you, at least they're at least they're laughing.
You're still entertained.
Are you not entertained?
You've done your job.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, it's
Yeah, you're not alone. I
It's a
guess is what
grind.
we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
now we were
Well-
talking. I started putting. Speaking of crowded market, I started putting guitar lessons on YouTube. Like, sure, that's never been done, and I'm
Yeah.
keeping up with this, like doing it for 30 days to see if I can keep going. And it's like no views, no views, no views. It's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just keep showing up, and you know, or don't. I don't know.
There's
Yeah.
sign.
Well,
There's
someone
sign.
said to me one time they call it compound interest,
Mm,
which I
that.
liked. I like that.
That sounds
that.
like the dip because all of a sudden it's just like bam. Like it takes a long time for everything to align, but once it does, it's like
Well, that's why I feel like I've been doing this for it'll be 5 years in December, and it's like I've done nothing to like make it better. So it's on me, right? It's definitely like I'm not ignorant to that at all, but it's like how much time do I have to dedicate to
Yeah.
it? Like, do I want to do it? How do I do it?
I
can
mean, if nothing
afford-
else, like you said, this is episode 2, whatever. Like having that much of a back catalog. I mean, it's just if I was a potential guest and saw that, it's like, oh man, he's been doing this for
Yeah.
fucking, since Dirt was young. This is great. And the skills you've learned of talking with so many different people, like as soon as you get that, fucking Billy Joel wants to be on your podcast or something, it's like you have that ability to just
Interesting, yeah.
riff around and
interesting pull there, Billy Joel.
yeah.
I think
Billy
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
Yeah, I'm not saying you will.
That's good
but
guess.
I-
That-
I don't
that's
know
good
why
get.
that came to mind, but
I just thought it was funny.
That's good. That's a good get.
Yeah, I
take that.
agree. I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
Piano man.
my vision for this whole thing would be like to have this platform where people were like, "Oh man, we're releasing a new album or a new song or whatever. We got to get on Popko show." Like,
Yo, we did. That was us.
here we are.
For real. I was like, we're putting out a release. Who are we gonna let know?
Yeah.
You were on the list. For
yeah,
sure.
well, thank you. Well, let's
Of
talk
course.
about that. Let's get off of the woe is me that is
That's our
Popko
life.
right now. And well, thanks for thanks for letting me talk about that. It
Absolutely,
just,
man.
it's nice to, I guess, get it off your chest a bit and
Yeah,
kind of-
communication is important, and sometimes it could be like annoyingly important.
Yeah.
but like
So my wife is a counselor. She just graduated from college with her master's in clinical mental health. So I'm quite aware of how annoying it can be to always be talking
yeah.
about.
So she oversees the band.
She's gonna debrief us after this.
yeah. Here's what you can do better.
yeah, have her send notes my way, will you?
Yeah.
But yeah, you have a new song, Lock and Key.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
I think it's a little different, you said, than past recordings. Dual vocals and all that kind of stuff. So talk about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I think it came out like a week or two, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
And
So- Yeah, thank you. We were looking at like when this actually was originally recorded, and I think it was like the original idea was recorded. I think it was like over 2 years ago. So to have it finally be out is just like more of a relief than anything. And I have a fond story of about the initial riff. I got our old bass player had a guitar that he lent me. I've never played a Jazzmaster before, believe it or not, with P90s in it. I never played one ever. And he's like, just borrow mine and see what you think of it. And I know you can probably definitely attest to this. Popko, you probably have something that also, but when something new, like new gear comes in or something, like it just inspires you in a way that's like, So I wrote like 3 songs just from having like three of the main riffs for 3 of our songs just by having this guitar, like right in a row as soon as I got it. And it was like one of those things. We should almost exchange guitars, I think. Just
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll
Just to
take
see
the
what's
gray
in
one
there.
when I leave.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, so kind of came up like 2+ years ago. And then we had like another EP we were trying to get out, and we had Steve come in and Hillary come in. So there's kind of just a lot of reorganization. So this was kind of an opportunity to be like, all right, what do we have kind of in the can that we can just get out there as singles for right now to build up to an album. So this is the first one of those. We have one other single coming out, hopefully in like we're aiming for like 2 or 3 months, and then to kind of stem the wait for the full album, and then we'll go
Keep the
and
fans at
there
bay
you
for a
go
little
into the
while.
fall. Yeah, the people at the Spotify's tell me it's good to release music on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're debating that too. Like, how do we put out this new record? Like, do we do it one at a time or not?
Mhm.
So anyway, yeah, the original idea came from riff from this guitar, and then Steve came into the band, and we're like, all right, let's take this time to kind of we'll start with these two songs, we'll work them up. Those will be our first two singles, and then we can start writing as a band. And that's what we're doing now. And of course, trying to, as gracefully as possible, transition into that kind of this new era of the band, which is pretty interesting, I would say.
Yeah, and Lock and Key's kind of cool because you said it really features a lot of the dual vocals and stuff, but it is very much in the style uh of what Neck and Neck kind of was and what early Bellwether was, but it really has a lot of the elements of where we're going with the dual vocals and with the me playing guitar.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think it's really blossomed into a really great single that shows where the band was and where the band's going, and I think the same thing is true for the next single that's going to be coming out soon.
Yeah. And then lyrically, we were kind of
Yeah.
like, actually, this might be, hits a little close to home, but for me anyway, it's just like, something that you think was good for you initially or that you found comfort in initially or maybe that you isolated yourself off from to keep yourself away from ends up kind of like locking yourself into a cage of your own accord. So
Hmm.
that's even more unhealthy than the original thing, and that could be anything from a person or a
Yeah.
substance or whatever. So it's just kind of the realization of finding that out and how to deal with it, I guess, would be the best way
Yeah.
to say that. Yeah, but Steve was great. He came on. He's like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And like, we've never had any whammy bar thing on a song up to this point. He's like,
At the
I was
beginning.
like, "Oh yeah." So just like the power of someone new coming into a situation and just
Yeah.
just like what they bring into it is really cool. So
Yeah, and I think we both just have a mutual love for certain guitar things that are like,
that's for sure.
goodness.
Yeah. And what's great now is Steve knows how to do all those things. So if I write them, I could just give him those
Steve, do
parts.
one of those
Yeah.
whammy bar things.
Yeah. Do that thing you do.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as your music you have, like, what is a lot of the lyrical content based around? Is there a specific thing, or is
Ooh,
it just a
yes.
wide variety? Or
Great question. So we'll tease a little bit of the album
Mhm.
coming up because it's a lot more kind of unified
Yeah.
idea. But in the past, it's been a lot of like there's a song about racing, which was a shout out to my pop. He loved racing, so I was like, all right, I'll do that. And it's kind of one offs, and it gets to the point where it's like it's more difficult to write
Mm.
a theme for like a one-off song,
Yeah.
then like can we just stretch this over a whole record and really kind of break that up? So I pulled from everything from like Edgar Allan Poe, Woodstock. I just like the idea of like kind of offbeat, maybe a little weird or wacky stories that we can kind of infuse into it. We try to show our sense of humor, believe it or not,
Yeah.
to varying success, I would say maybe, but
Nobody
we try.
gets us.
Yeah, it's all on them. We try to, put that in there a little bit too. So that's another song that's gonna be coming up. The next single is
Mm.
is kind of a campy B movie aesthetic and theme around it. So yeah, we're trying to get some of these things that we want to do out with these singles, and then really what we're working towards is a record about not about but kind of, and I don't want to even say inspired, but like a what do you even say? Yeah.
Well, it's about uh well, we found a diary when my great grandmother died.
Lies. No, the Salem witch trials. So we were like inside joke here. So we had this we were working through a song, and for some reason I thought of the name just we have demo names. So like what were some of the weirder demo names? I don't
I mean,
even
or Antacid
Antacid,
is a good
yeah.
one.
They're just random names just to
Yeah,
kind of
just
title
so we
things.
know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So this one was called Salem Sunset. For some reason, it made me think of that. And then Hillary, our bass player, was like, "Why don't we just do a whole record like around the whole witch hunt
Mm.
thing?" So that's what we set out to do, and I would say we're 70 or 75% of the way
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Most of the music is written, and it's I gotta say, it's shit gets stuck in my head in the best way, man.
Yeah,
It is just
yeah.
so much fun.
It's been super cool to see like how it's come along, even with the band too. Like from where we started to where we are now, it's just crazy, and how much everyone's brought into it. So yeah, we're aiming for maybe like 9 or 10 songs.
Mm.
Hopefully before Halloween to get into the witchy season there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's kind of the goal. So and then all the artwork and whatnot to go with. So
Mhm.
Do you guys do your own art?
up until this point, yes, but we are looking to outsource that. So if you know
Mm.
anyone, let us know.
And that's sort of like the sort of burnout of like, is what I'm doing really, should
Yes,
I keep doing this? It's like we want to be able to focus on the thing that really gets us going, and that's the songs. And it's like we want to have, our vision of the album art and everything be put out there, but you just can't. You can't do everything. So, we have our ideas, and we're looking at a couple different artists, and see who kind of gels with us. But yeah,
Yeah, there you go, Popko. It's a matter of scale.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone else working with you at this point, or it's all you?
No, like I said, it's all me.
Yeah, so
I
maybe
yeah, I really need to like just you know
I know this sounds crazy, but look for what about like interns, you know?
yeah. I mean that's not a terrible idea.
Especially in the podcast radio realm, I'm sure there's plenty of them.
Yeah.
Get you up to speed.
Yeah, I use like an AI program for like the clip part of it
Oh,
because
good. I was gonna
that's
ask you
how
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah that's how people. I mean I get more views on those than I do the
Yeah,
actual.
absolutely. Yeah.
So I mean if that's beneficial for guests, then that's fine with me too. But it's
Yeah,
just
for
it's
sure.
so it saves time, but it's still he's putting it through the program, and then obviously it's not perfect 100%, so you still have to tweak it here and there. So
Yeah.
it's but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean there's
that's
definitely
the
tools.
work.
You know,
Yeah, and it's like do you dive into AI and get into that world and kind of embrace it and learn about it and utilize it and
so this has been a hot topic to be. I don't know. Has it been a hot topic in your world? Because oh man, there's been a lot of people who, especially in the musician, like I should say in the stoner doom realm, especially,
really
do not like AI
Mm.
or art, AI art. And really, I'm a trained like career graphic artist, so
yeah.
man, I love it. It
Well,
saves
wait.
me so much time. And it's not like it's not taking any it's a tool. It's not taking any jobs from people. It would take a job
Yet
from me. Well, it might.
yet
Well, listen, if it takes my job, then I shouldn't have to do anything. Is it
yeah.
if it's
Could all
that
put our feet
good,
up.
yeah. Yeah, I should
Oh,
hang out.
I always I don't know how old you guys are, but I mean I always feel like I'll just guess your age, but I feel like our generation's like in this middle, like
Oh yeah.
like lab rats to a
Yeah.
degree. Like
Yeah, for sure.
our parents are my mom is 67. She can text, she can order on Amazon, and she's
Yeah.
like I wouldn't say she's like real tech savvy, but she's like gets by.
Yeah.
My wife, her parents are in their mid to late 70s. Like those age groups are like, I'm not, fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, we're going
Yeah.
to die soon. Like,
Yeah.
we're not getting,
Yeah.
like, who
Yeah.
cares? Like, just
I'm
forget
not
about
learning
it.
this. Yeah.
Kids these days.
Yeah. But like, our generation, like, we were without internet, but then
Yeah.
we've had internet, and like, we're
It's
like,
such
oh,
a weird time frame.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
But like, we know and how much, how great the world was, um, without it, when you
Mhm.
just went outside and, rode bikes until 8 o'clock at night and whatever it was.
Yeah.
but also how great like early internet was. Like when like MySpace was young and when AIM was a thing and like it was just you communicating with your friends in your
Yeah,
small group on a
yeah,
computer, but it before it took over everything of your
Yeah.
right.
life. It was,
But like I feel like we miss that simple life, but we know that we can't fall too far behind with this technology part. So we're
mm,
trying to keep up in this space, and then the generations behind us, like that's all they know. That's
yeah,
all
Yeah.
they're familiar with. So like we're like these like lab rats that are just kind of like
yeah.
these people like have know both, so we can like test them both ways, and it just kind of sucks.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'm 46 and I couldn't
Are you really?
afford, yeah, I couldn't afford a
Jesus
computer.
Christ.
I couldn't afford a computer at home until I was 28.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I didn't have any kind like I would work on a computer all day, but when I would come home, I wouldn't like do
Yeah.
computer stuff. I couldn't afford one. So, yeah, it's kind of odd to be like a lot like actually, so to pull it back to the musical transition, it's a lot like that. It's like trying to figure out, all right, we used to be here, we're trying to get here. What's the best way to get there? I just
Mm.
don't know. It's easier to I always say this about tech. It's easier to stay on top of the wave and surf the wave in than try to swim to shore because that's just always way too much work. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
as new
everybody's so
things
far
come
ahead
up,
of you.
yeah, jump on them and just learn them.
But then, yeah, like learning all the new shit like takes away from doing the thing that you like to
Yeah, yeah,
do.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. So this happens with music recording too, because when I started, I had an acoustic guitar and like I oh one of the best gifts I ever got was a tape
oh
deck,
yeah,
right? And we would like do stupid shit like make fart tapes
oh
right
yeah,
away, right off the bat, that kind of stuff. But then I would record like MTV and try to like catch it because that was back then.
oh,
I would
Yeah.
try to catch all my favorite songs and just like literally audio record the TV just so I would have them,
Yeah.
yeah,
and then start to write songs and like just to have that very rudimentary piece of
mm.
gear. Man, that I still have. I think I probably still have those tapes in the
You should
closet if I
record the album
looked.
on that.
Yeah.
You know,
And so that just started the whole path of like I could do this, and then now you have an entire studio's worth of
yeah, it's right there.
yeah,
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 fucking right there.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
been
right
opening
there.
this
We
higher
work on
fucking
it every
recording
week.
studio.
Yeah, yeah. So our what? How big is this room? We practice in a 10 by 10
If
studio,
that, yeah,
back room of my apartment every week, and
it's very
kind of
stuffy. And,
yeah, kind of built the band out of it, which is pretty kind of trippy to think about, but that's what
Well,
works. So
yeah. Even releasing music though is like, you're talking about they call it the waterfall, whatever, and it's every
yes,
6 weeks. Like,
yes,
how do you guys feel about that? Because now
great
that I know you're
question.
you're a little older, you can you appreciate
some
the
of us, some of us are a little.
yeah. Well, no, like I mean, I love and hate it,
Yes.
to a degree. So like for me, it's I loved, you know, going to the record store, getting the album. In fact, I say this a lot too. Like I could go, like if I own the CD, I could probably tell you what year, what month,
Mm-hmm.
almost to the day it
Wow.
came out because it's all tied to like okay, um, Pearl Jam released a new album. I gotta like figure out like how to go get it, like how to make money to go buy it or leave work to go get it or whatever it might be. And all it was tied to like certain parts of my life, whether they're moments with friends, the girl you're
Yeah.
dating, the season or whatever it might be. But you had time to kind of like, or, it was 2 years between albums, so you had this like it was a momentous occasion really. So I like the hype. I like the going to get it and putting it on and listening to it from song one to song 10. Opening the CD and pulling out the lyrics and the art and all that kind of stuff. So I miss all that. What I like about having this digital age, I like the fact that I am getting what is perceived as I'm getting more from my favorite artists, like
Mm,
on a regular basis,
mm.
which is cool. But it just gets lost. It's like there's not like you know, I'll never remember. Oh, the single came out on this date,
Ah,
and
yeah, yeah,
it's like
Yeah,
it just kind of like just thrown in the ocean. It's just like whatever. Who cares?
yeah.
and then it's like, how do you fold all the content that comes in with it and with that, and like, I don't know. How does that even work together? Yeah, that's a great point. Never even thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
liner notes. When I don't even remember the last time I looked at liner notes for an
Yeah.
album, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. I grew up, I'm like a little bit younger than you guys, just a little bit. So I grew up like, everyone in high school, when I was in high school, everybody had iPods. I had a fucking cassette tape and a cassette deck, and I loved going to record stores and looking through because I was into older music, and that's just where it was. And there was, 50 cents for a record because nobody wanted them, and in the cassettes, and you'd look through all of them, and the fucking J cards inside the cassettes. I would study these things, and I
Yeah.
would listen to the same album for 6 months, and listen and notice that the drummer, you know, hit the snare different on that one hit, or the guitar player switched his pickup and you can hear it, and it just all those little details and shit that that just makes it, man. All the liner notes, like you said, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
the physical stuff.
You know what else I was thinking about? We're trying to put an album together, and we got to think about like, all right, it used to be a little more straightforward. I feel like, whereas like you have an LP, and you have about 40 minutes, right? So you have about 20 minutes to a side. So the way you put a record together, like I'm thinking of like all the classic, like 80s thrash and stuff, right? They're about eight to 10 songs, maybe about 40 minutes total. So you got to think about someone actually physically flipping
Mm.
the vinyl
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
actually come into consideration with this record we're
for
working on.
real,
We're like, wait,
yeah.
we got to make sure that.
This is about halfway, so this is your intermission of
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
would
Right.
actually
right.
flip it, and so have it something that makes sense there, and have that good user experience for that as well. Oh yeah,
Hey,
do it, man.
we'll pause it. We'll pause.
Yeah,
Oh,
cool.
okay, thank
All
Do
you.
right.
a double.
All these
Yeah.
beers.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. That was perfect actually because you said intermission regarding a record.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you loop, or make sure you clip out Steve saying, "I have to pee really bad."
No, no, leave that in. In
No, I'm
fact,
saying
yeah,
clip it so we can use it as
yeah,
a
AI will pick
yeah.
that bit out as the
Let's hope.
that'll go viral.
Oh my God! Speaking of that, I shouldn't even say this, but speaking, you were talking about like having stuff that you put a lot of hard work into, and it doesn't go anywhere, no views. We like made a joke. Hillary made a joke in our recording of video that we put together for our last record about like recording a fart, and then that thing went like I don't know 1,700 views in
Yeah,
like 40 minutes. Like for us, it was big deal, and I was like,
yeah.
really? That's what we're gonna be
Yeah.
stuck doing?
Well, that's another thing
People
too.
love
It's like,
fart jokes.
Yeah,
I feel like we're not in the boomer range, but I feel like a lot of times like a boomer because I feel like I'm
yeah.
always talking about, well, back in my day we bought CDs and shit like that, and it's like, and I miss those days, I really do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And these young kids are probably like, fuck you, old man.
yeah,
But it's just so much, and then social media. You said before we had MySpace and Facebook, and then now it's a million different things.
yeah.
TikTok, like
There's
what the
always a
fuck?
new fucking app.
I draw my line. That's where the
Yeah,
line's drawn for me. I just can't do it.
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's like
So
it's a powerful tool, right? Like,
it is.
and do you embrace it? Do you
Yeah.
utilize
Yes,
it?
and
It's
how
like,
long can you chase all that stuff? Like, I mean, eventually, it's just gonna keep going, and
Yeah.
you know,
I feel like there's like a curve though where you can kind of comfortably sit in the wake a little bit and
yeah. I
kind of
guess you
just
got to figure out where your
yeah.
age bracket
Yeah.
lives in terms of which sort of social media they kind of
yeah,
inhabit.
I don't know. I don't envy our jobs. Trying to figure it out as an old person.
I don't know. I hope we can just get this figured out so we can all retire early and to just do the work for us. Like
We
what's
get
the
to retire?
yeah.
Well,
Or what
AI's gonna AI will take over, and
Oh,
then
okay.
it'll be UBI. It
well the
won't be
big
enough to it won't be enough to survive.
yeah.
All the cars will drive themselves.
Yeah,
Right off a cliff.
Right.
the universal income, everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, why don't we do this?" Because I know a lot of people, I'm sure you do too, who would blow through that with drugs and alcohol in the first day or two and
Yeah,
then still be in the same
yeah.
situation that they were in. So it's just like, yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
I don't know. I'm scared for the future.
Yo, yeah, especially as a parent, dude.
Yeah, man. You
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
I'm praying my kids are smart enough to figure it all out so they can take care of me. You know?
Hell yeah, man. Dude, I do not envy my. I
It,
just thought of my kids in high school. It's just like,
it's a weird time.
what is that even going to look? Part of me is glad that like I feel like the generation that was in high school after me really had it bad. Like the ones that are in high school now. I'm hoping by the time my kids are that age, a lot of the bullshit with social media and like the like online bullying
Yeah,
and I hope things kind of smooth out a little bit by then. But the
I
kids right
agree.
now, it's like, man,
Nobody fights anymore either. Like
right?
you don't say anything to anybody's face, and nobody challenges you to like, hey, you don't have the guts to say it to my face. And if they do,
Yeah.
then you fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either behind a screen or they pull out guns now. It's like
Oh,
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
which is just
yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
Scary as
dangerous.
shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, even the education system, I think, could be different in the next 10 years. You know,
Mm,
my wife is big on, college and going to college. And I mean,
yeah.
she's spent 9 years in college. You know, she was like undergrad and then a year towards her master's. And then she
Mm-hmm.
switched majors and went to pharmacy school. Now she's working full time and then going to school twice a week at night for her MBA. And it's like,
Mm.
Holy
so
cow!
she's
Wow.
like, yeah. So
Well,
on top
some
of all that,
people.
like, it's just like so she's big on college and like
Yeah,
education, which I am too. I mean,
that's
we
cool.
need to be educated, but is it going to be the same?
Right. Yeah. I think that path and that story is something that was sold to our generation. You know, the go to school, go to college. You have to go to college to get a job, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, education in 10, 15 years, I mean, I don't even, it's going to be so different.
I would love to see it go back to apprenticeships. This guy is
Yeah.
a fantastic guitar luthier and repair person. And like, how do you even get those skills anymore? Like,
Yeah.
you'd
That's a
have to
very,
hunt you down. Yeah.
very in-person sort of learning kind of thing. And trade schools too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were shunned. I mean, I remember when I was in
yeah,
high
Yeah.
school,
sure.
Same.
you'd see kids that went to the Votech
Yeah.
schools,
Yeah.
and they were the losers.
Yep.
You know,
My
they were
brother
outside
was a loser.
smoking cigarettes, and
Not now.
yeah, now they're it's scary for us though too because there's a lack of them. So trying to get someone to
Yeah.
come do anything is
Yeah. No doubt.
weeks at a time. And it's $200 just to walk in the door. It's like Jesus
Mhm.
Christ.
Yep.
But here I am again on my boomer rant.
No, it's a very real thing, man. It's
Yeah,
people. There are jobs that people don't want to do, but
Why is AI doing art jobs? Is what I want to
we need
know.
to get these motherfuckers cleaning sewers
I
and
like
these
why.
robots.
We can't
I
get
need
these
sewer
Amazon
bots.
picking order thing robots together
Get
so
these
we can
drones to
do
clean
art all
out.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, clean all my dog shit. Just fucking
that'd
just
be
come
good.
down,
Well, you're
scoops it
onto
up.
something there. Hold
That's yeah.
on.
That's not. I mean, I
Rock the
bet.
band.
I bet.
Oh yeah, 5 years, man. There's gonna be you could do a subscription model of a drone that comes and picks up your dog shit.
Yeah. So
You know,
What's the over under?
one guy near me has a fucking robot lawnmower.
Oh yeah.
Every time I drive by, it's just like
That'll drive right over dog shit, won't it?
probably yeah.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Problem solved.
But I mean, there's people out there right now, that are making a killing off of like poop scoop
Oh yeah. No
businesses. You know.
no
For
doubt.
real?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do it for free.
So do I. I didn't want that fucking dog, and I have to be out there cleaning up the shit.
Oh my god.
But yeah, people, I mean, there's just jobs that people, shunned for years,
Yeah, yeah. But there's shit that needs to get done.
and picked up,
Yeah. Touche.
picked up. I mean, even there's like laundry services now where,
Wow.
but like we are busier now as humans. Like I look at it with my son, and he's not even in nearly as many things as other kids are.
Yeah.
And he's doing baseball. He's in a little league, and then he also does like a semi like private type of like lesson type stuff. Um, but there's kids that are doing the private lessons, little league, two travel teams.
Mm-hmm.
But parents have like 3, 4 kids, and each kid's doing something. Like you're just, when I was a kid, I was never as busy as my son is.
Yo, I didn't do
Yeah.
anything as a
They
kid.
seem stressed out too, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. My nieces and nephews anyway, where it's just like, oh, we gotta go do this weekend or
Mhm.
travel to play soccer or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's nuts. So what I was getting to is there's no time to do laundry. So there's people who like have homes with a washer and dryer, but no time to fucking do it. So
Mm.
there's people that will come to your house, pick up your laundry, and they'll kind of it's like almost like they call it like a virtual laundromat. So they'll take your clothes and they'll clean it whether it's at their house or at a laundromat, and then come back and drop it off. And people will pay it because they're too fucking busy to do it themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I've looked into it. I've
What's
looked
the
into
number?
it.
What's it? Does it pay well?
Oh, you mean actually do no laundry?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, not paying someone to do my laundry. No, fuck that.
All right.
I was
You
touching
pick
my
up the
stuff.
poop, I'll do the
Yeah,
laundry.
I can't afford that shit.
right.
I can't even afford the detergent to do my own.
I don't hate laundry.
I don't mind running laundry.
Well, that's the
I
easy
hate
part.
I hate folding it and putting it away. What's that?
You have a washboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I did make my own detergent for a while. That was a lot of fun.
I don't hate laundry.
Yeah.
I don't even mind folding it. I just put on a movie or some stupid show and I fold laundry. Putting it away I don't like putting it away.
Ugh,
Yeah.
worst.
There should be a machine for that. Come on.
But I would like. I'm glad we had this on recorded because when there's drones that are picking up dog shit, we're
I'm
like,
not-
we
Yeah.
talked about this.
I will.
It was May
reference-
20th, 2025.
I would
Reference
not
code
be surprised.
234.
That's a really good idea.
It is.
Maybe that's what all those Jersey drones were doing. We just like
Exactly.
giving-
Yeah. They were
giving the
scoping out.
opportunity.
They were seeing how much shit is in people's yards.
Right. Yeah.
Is this a lucrative business?
There's got to be
And
an algorithm that determines. Is it thermal based? Is like
Yeah.
are they constantly
This is what the next
looking
song's going to be
and look
about.
for warm
definitely.
spots?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
well, they have to be out. They have to be like deployed quickly though. But they have to be
Right.
flying all the time because that poop gets cold pretty quick.
right. That's what I'm
Wouldn't
saying.
it be
like,
better-
Yeah. How?
Well, not to get too deep into it, but
No.
wouldn't-
Let's.
You got to let it sit for a little while before you.
Oh, to
pick
scoop
up with
it.
this
Yeah.
with the
Sometimes they're
drone.
soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the last thing I want is the drone dripping dog shit all over.
I don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Just thinking that one through.
But then there's risk of stepping in it or the dog stepping in it and then bringing it in the house.
Yeah.
So in my mind, you gotta get it quick.
It's got to be
Just-
a one. It's got to be like what the drone comes down while the dog's pooping, and just puts a
And just catches it.
catch that shit before it hits the ground. Literally.
All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere.
So anyway, we have a new single coming out. Speaking of shit,
Drone shit. Well, I mean, I like the idea of AI like detecting cancer like
Oh,
years
yeah.
before it happens. That's great, right?
Sure. I would love that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Focus on that. We'll write the song. You
Yeah.
know, it's like we'll do the art. We'll write the songs.
Yeah, let them create the art.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess only time will tell.
yeah, you can't just take the good, the parts you want. It's sort of a thing that's developing, and
That's
it's
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just moving so fast. It's like
Yeah. There's
warp,
good.
warp speed.
Do you think there's a point where it's just like it's just too much and you can't keep up?
It's been too much.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
that ship sailed,
That's
man.
true.
That sailed
TikTok.
with this thing right here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Life was much easier before an iPhone.
That really is it because
I
how
don't
many
know,
people
man.
don't even know?
Hey,
how
listen,
to-
I love my phone, and I
Remember
love the
printing
fact.
out MapQuest before,
Oh yeah,
I do.
well, hey,
that shit
listen,
was a pain in the ass.
I used to have a Garmin. I used to have a
Yeah,
Garmin that
yeah,
it was outside the Apple system.
yeah.
But I
I'm
mean,
actually-
yeah, that technology is I love it, and I love the fact that you can order food ahead and or whatever it might be. But I don't know.
No, I'm just talking shit. I know.
Hey,
what
the
you're
first
saying.
time I downloaded an album at midnight, I don't even remember what album it was. I can't. I was waiting, and I was like, I'm gonna go buy this tomorrow. I was like, wait, I could just download it as soon as it hits midnight, and I
Oh,
did, and I
yeah.
listened to it right away, and I was like, wow, it made such an impression on me. I was like, this is. I'm probably not gonna go back to a store and buy an album that way again, just because it was so. I got it right away. I got to listen to it right away. I can't remember the band though, but I wanted to. I was like waiting for them to release it. I kind
But
of.
I bet if you had to go to a store and buy it at a store, you'd remember
You
it.
totally remember.
Oh, great point.
Because you
Yeah.
can see
Yeah.
it in your hand. And
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah.
I fought it for the longest time. I was an avid record store goer. I would go there just like twice a week, once a week, not even with a mission in mind. I would leaf through the used CDs. I would buy albums based on art, cover art.
Yeah.
When I didn't have anything like that I wanted to buy. And I remember the day it stopped. It was 2018, not the day, but the year, 2018. I had a kid the year prior, and it was just financially irresponsible. I was spending like $200 a month in the record store, like
Yeah, it's crazy.
$200 for what 10 CDs or less, or maybe it was whatever it equals out to.
Yeah.
But or $10, and I have everything in my phone.
It's hard to argue with.
But I hate that too because there's too much.
Too
Yeah.
much. Yo, I listen to like stuff on Spotify all the time. I'll get super deep into a band, and then if I don't listen to that band for a week, it's just gone off my fucking suggested list, and I don't even remember what band it was. And
That's a good point.
it's frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
We're not going to figure it out tonight.
No, no.
I wish I was smart enough to do that.
I would just make money and retire and get out of here. I don't try to solve it. Forget it.
Mm.
Well, it's another thing about our generation prior to us that they could make money. It's almost impossible for us now. I mean, look at the housing market.
Oh my God, please. I was in the middle of it and I tried to buy one. I was like, I almost basically was house poor forever. Thankfully, I didn't do it. But yeah, that was awful.
Yeah, I mean, the people that made out when the housing market went crazy were people who had two houses. They're like, I don't even use this one house. Let's just sell it and make twice as much as I paid for it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's how it works.
and everyone's like, oh, well, my house, I got, it's worth 100,000 more than I paid for it. It's like, okay, yeah, but now you're going to pay 100,000 more
For
that
next
house
one.
that's worth.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
your interest rate's going to be twice as much as it was
Exactly.
before. Like,
So you just
you're
sit
not
on
making
it.
out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally like, truthfully, like the house I got almost 10 years ago, crazy good deal. It was a foreclosure before and somebody flipped it, blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is it's worth a lot more now than when I bought it. But yeah, it's like I sell it and I'm going to have to live in my car. It's like,
Your
what am
really
I gonna
nice
do?
car.
Yeah. My really fucking nice car.
Yeah. You can buy a nice Escalade. What's nothing? Cars. Insane.
no.
Yeah, I don't
Cars,
know
new
if
cars are
cars,
insane.
man.
Oh yeah. Actually, that was one big thing for me was having the music connect directly from your phone. Like,
Mm.
oh my God, that was so big because I was
Yeah.
sticking that cassette adapter in there forever, and then as soon as that happened, it was like, okay,
Or the FM transmitter. and the
yeah,
stereo
yeah, yeah,
player.
I can get used to this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember it was to the point where I was buying CDs. I'd buy them. I'd come home, put them on my computer, throw them on my iPod, and then that's how that was very convenient.
I was gonna ask, do you still have like an actual physical collection at all?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I mean, again, I have not bought a CD probably since 2018. And I mean, I may have bought like one at a show, just,
Yeah,
support the
yeah.
band.
Yep.
But I still have it. Yeah. It's like one of my most I'm very proud of it, and I'm hoping that like one day
Sure.
my son will dig into it, or daughter, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can reach in there and just pull out any record and just immediately remember what your life was like when you picked that one up for the
It's also
first time.
dangerous. It's also dangerous. It's like my life's the way it is now, and it's like, oh God. Back then it was so easy.
Yeah.
You little brats weren't here.
Yeah. Oh man.
Can't go back.
But well, again, we're not going to solve all the world's problems tonight.
Save it for next time. Yeah.
We could probably wrap things up. So tell me, what's ahead in store for the rest of this year. Do you have any shows lined up? I know we talked about some more singles, hopefully a new record around the October timeline
Yeah, man.
for the Halloween season.
Yeah, hold us to it.
Hold us to that one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a couple gigs lined up, right? We got one next week.
Next Friday, May 30th, down in Spring City, kind of by Phoenixville, Philly suburbs, at the Gem, which is an awesome venue.
lot of fun.
Super cool. We're with bands called High Leaf and Thunderbird Divine. So, talk about a doom wop, stoner rock, desert band night. there it
Mm.
is. Yeah, so we're excited about that one. We're playing at Music Fest also.
August 4th.
Yeah, it's like a Monday, which is the same night as the Black Crows, I think. Unfortunately,
Oh wow, yeah.
not opening
Yeah.
for the Black Crows, but on the small stage
Well,
after they
technically,
done.
No,
we
no,
Yeah,
technically, just do that. You can
yeah,
say
yeah.
we
no
We'll
one
are
has to
say, all
know.
right,
we're
yeah.
No
playing
one asks for
before them.
specifics.
So what's the date? Monday,
August 4th.
August 4th. We're opening for the Black Crows.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah,
You
and
heard it here first, folks.
yeah. And then August 30th, we're going to be in Staten Island at
Mother Pugs.
Mother Pugs. Yes. So first time in the New York area there. Excited to get back out there, or actually get out there for the first time.
Hmm.
And yeah, we're gonna be booking maybe one more at the Funhouse in Lehigh Valley, but we're not quite
Oh, we
sure
have some at Sokos too, don't we?
what's. Oh yeah, we have a
Nice.
July 24th or 7th. Check the website for that one. But we're gonna be playing at National Sokals, which is kind of like a VFW in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. We had a great show there last time, so we're
Yeah.
gonna be there again. And what else? Kind of just getting ready. Once those are done to put out that record. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Look out for that next single that's coming out. It's fucking fun. It's so
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, it's weird because I don't want to necessarily. I'd rather talk
no, we
about the
can't
Witch
tell.
record
Yeah, we
before
can't
that
tell anyone
one.
about this
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
but it's kind of like B movie camp
Yeah.
inspired, I would
And like
say.
you said, it shows sort of art humor a little bit.
Like it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by the fact that you know all those dates that far ahead in your heads.
Little do you know, there's
Uh,
a giant screen right here.
yeah,
But no,
yeah, yeah.
Don't.
I'm
Yeah.
joking.
We have someone feeding us.
Yeah.
A lot of bands like, oh, what's coming up? Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's really good at that kind of shit.
I've had to book them, so I tend to remember. You tend. Speaking of like actually having to go pick up a CD, you tend to remember when they are when you have to book them. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, very cool. So
and
anyway,
what's the website?
yeah, bellwetherritual.com. Let's see, we're on Instagram. Our main one is Instagram, but we also have Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. We have a cool recording of our previous album. We're going to be doing another one for these two singles coming up soon, but you can go watch that on YouTube channel. And what else we got?
Um, T-shirts.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
Merch. This guy's
yeah,
shredding solos.
yeah. I can be a cameo on your next.
Oh yeah, yeah. Send us your ideas. So yeah, so once again, I just want to say thank you so much. I know you're kind of like you were saying, you're kind of in the limbo of trying to decide what to do,
I'm
but
in the
I
dip.
will, yeah,
In
I
the
would
dip, brother.
say take your time, take a bit of a break, and see what you're naturally drawn towards. And if you need some encouragement, give us a call because
Mhm.
Well, I appreciate that very
yeah,
much.
man,
I really do. It's
yeah,
I mean, we're all in this together.
yeah, and that's exactly the point.
Mhm.
That,
I haven't said that since like 2020. Remember that was a big thing. That was like
Yeah,
the
right.
so,
big
so this is
slogan.
not to keep going, but this is one of the things I see bands really fall short on the most is they don't understand the value of the community that they're in. And
Mm.
I didn't either for a long time. It's like, oh, I'm a good guitarist. People are just going to show up when I play, and it's like, no,
Mm.
that's not how it works at all. So you have to be an active part in it, and yeah, go get it. That's the biggest part.
Yeah. Well, thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with me. I
Likewise, man.
Yeah.
I hope that we see the drone dog shit picker uppers
I
sooner than later.
really, yeah,
But I feel like we should be on top of that. We should like
Yeah,
get a patent for that like
yeah.
before other
I'm
people
in.
do.
Yeah, I'm in. Let me
We
know.
got to think of a really good name too.
Oh yeah, I'll take that part.
Yeah,
No,
you
no
got
worries.
We'll ask AI to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah.
I have
yeah.
the idea is like coming up
Droop,
like right.
droop, drone poop. No.
I had a great idea
Poor
for
guy.
an app back in the day. This is going back like probably 12 years ago
Oh, all right.
when apps were cool.
Yeah.
Um, so I was tired of having to shit. in places
Me
that
too, brother.
Oh my God.
in
yeah.
undesirable places, right?
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
So it's like like
Just in general. Like, God, this
Will
sucks.
this app poop for me?
So if only there was a drone that would
no. So back in the
Take it
day, I
away.
wanted to somehow figure out like be able to rate
rating system. Yeah.
like if you're in the area and you have to shit, like okay, where can I go?
CVS, don't do it.
Or
Oh,
exactly
man.
like oh,
Yeah.
4 stars, 3 stars, like
Oh
oh,
my God, dude, that's great.
here's the best part is the name dumpster.
Ah, ah,
Take
I
my
love it.
money.
Yeah, but I'm not a tech guy,
Oh,
and
I am.
I really think you should. I think you should look into that,
Yeah.
man. I think you should find a developer
I can
and
help.
put some
Is there-
resources into that.
is there still a
because-
need for that? You think there's a need?
Are you kidding me? People always have to shit.
Here's
Yeah,
the
but-
thing. They're not even going to use it. They're just going to love the name and the point of the app so much just so they can show
True.
it to
Yeah.
their
As long as they
friends.
get it. I
Yeah,
guess that's it.
they'll download it. Yeah.
But
But
I
yeah,
would
but-
use it. Are you kidding me?
That's
there's-
true.
I mean, I would.
On
I was-
tour?
Yeah. So I was in Florida one time doing gigs, and I literally walked from one end of Duval Street to the other, trying to find somewhere to shit.
Yeah.
Because I was like, my hotel was on the other end, and if had I had dumpster, I would have been fucking good.
This is like nightmare fuel.
You know
for
where to
me. Not knowing where to shit. So yeah.
Lynching, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
But no, it's like 1 star, like piss and shit on the seat, like
Yeah.
Right.
no paper towels, no toilet paper, and this would start holding people accountable and making sure their fucking bathrooms were better.
Yo, I didn't
In
even
better
think
shape.
of that. Yeah, like the venue or the restaurant or whatever is
Yeah.
gonna want 5 stars on dumpster.
Why are we fucking around with this band shit?
Yeah,
Let's-
fuck
yeah.
bands.
All right.
Fuck
Well,
this podcast. All right, dumpster. We're doing it.
do it.
DUMBSTR
I have a lot of
or P, not B.
That works too.
well, that dumpster. Yeah, no, it has to be dump. It
Yeah.
has to be dump.
You're right. The silent B.
But I have a lot of ideas in my head, but I have no. I have like restaurant ideas, but I have no restaurant background. I have no financial ability to.
I have no
fund these
skills
things.
whatsoever.
Yeah, I have all these ideas. I'm an idea guy to an extent.
I've
gotta-
always wanted to do a peanut butter and jelly food truck. I think
Okay.
that'd be good because I fucking love a good peanut butter and jelly.
Ah.
I don't know about you guys.
My
thought
idea
it-
is similar to that, but not. It's in the same space.
But it
Peanut
involves
butter and
poop.
fluff.
No peanut butter. I don't want to say it out loud because I do have a full like my notes in my phone keep growing.
Ah,
I have like names for certain products. It's like my dream. Like it'll never happen.
oh, I thought you were
don't
going to say a nut allergy.
No.
Oh yeah, our drummer has a
Yeah,
nut.
hardcore. Like we have to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for
Oh.
doing this. Thanks for being my
Hey.
therapist for
No
part of
problem.
this.
Yeah, and likewise, man. This has been great
Yeah.
for us too. And like I said, this is a very new. Like I'm used to being on the other side, so we really appreciate you taking the time and giving a shit because that counts, and we appreciate it.
And with dumpster, you'll know where to take a shit.
That's right. Give and take.
I mean, that's the slogan. Dumpster.
Yeah.
Give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take it.
Or
Why
we
you
give a
taking
shit.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we give a shit. Or
I'm
like
sorry,
the
we
take a
give a
penny, leave a penny thing.
Yeah.
Take a shit, leave a shit.
All right.
All right.
Well, stick around for 1 minute after I hit stop, and I'll let you guys go.
Cool, man.
Bellwether Ritual. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, and
Thanks,
best of
Popko.
luck with
Cheers.
the rest of the year. All
Likewise,
right. We'll
man.
see you.